Namaskar. Election Commission of India has recently issued guidelines regarding polling personnel welfare measures. We all very much aware that entire election process is crucially dependent on personnel we deploy. In fact, conducting elections in India is perhaps one of the biggest exercise in manpower management. Having said that, it becomes imperative for the election managers to positively address the important issue of facilitation measures for the polling personnel. Engagement of polling personnel starts from the selection process itself. Commission has issued broad guidelines regarding selection of poll personnel, the criteria, etc. However, at the district level, the process of selection can be a crucial factor in instilling confidence in district election office. Firstly, the coverage must be comprehensive. What I mean by coverage is that all the employees from all the departments should be collected and database should be prepared. Any discretion by lower level functionaries from the district election office can actually create distress and disaffection. However, if the exemptions which are given during the selection process are transparent, it will instill confidence in the employees. If the general criteria for exemption are standardized in the beginning itself, like physically handicapped persons, pregnant women, etc., it not only saves us from lot of botheration later, the message to employees in the district is loud and clear.
While preparing polling parties, certain decisions were taken. All the female employees above the age of 55 or pregnant women were exempted from polling parties. All the women were posted only in the urban areas. No women was posted in the distant rural polling booths. No polling party was all female polling party. At least one polling personnel was a male. Wherever both husband and wife were working, one of them were exempted from the polling parties so that they can take care of the children at the house.
The next important step in providing good welfare measures is to create the proper database. Now, there are three levels of information that we need to collect. The first is booth level data, the second is personnel data, and third is route related data. I would explain what it means. In case of booth level data, we need to collect the information regarding the booth name, the booth number, the building name, areas covered, number of male and female voters in that particular booth, what is the police station in which that booth belongs, what is the telephone number of police station, who is the in charge of police station, what is his mobile number, whether the booth has been classified as sensitive, whether it is critical or non-critical, and who is in charge for the booth and what is his contact number. I would like to clarify here that booth in charge means any government employee who has been made to report to the polling party when it arrives at the polling booth and provide them all the basic logistic facilities like drinking water, stay arrangement, lights, food, etc. is called booth in charge. We can identify such person right in the beginning and collect their information, their mobile number, etc. and put it in our database. The next important data creation is of personnel data. Here the employees who are going to be put on election duty, we collect the information from various departments. We not only collect their name and designation, we also collect their office assembly constituency and their residence assembly constituency, and their age, the gender, their mobile contact number, their basic pay scale, which is critically used in classifying at which level in the polling party they should be deployed, and then their epic number and their voter list serial number and ID, etc., and details regarding of their disability, their health related problems if at all they have something. Everything has to be captured right in the beginning and put it into the database. Now, third important data collection is of the route. As we know, polling is a very major exercise in logistics. Polling parties have to be sent to different polling booths. Now, each booth would be comprising in a particular route, and a bus or a jeep or some other mode of transport would be traveling with certain number of polling parties. So, in the route data, what we do is for each route we collect what is going to be the sector number, what is going to be the sector officer who will be in charge for that route, and what is his mobile number, and then we also cover the information like which are the booths which are going to be part of this route, what is going to be the vehicle used for this route, which are the places of disembarking, and what is the actual distance of the booth from the place of disembarking. This is critical because some of the polling booths may not be on the main road. So the bus would drop the polling party at the main road and the party will have to travel the last mile by some other mode of transport. So even that information needs to be captured right at the beginning. And also for every route we need to provide for a route guide who should be travelling on that route, who should be conversant with the various geographical locations, and his mobile number should also be captured in the database right in the beginning. The next logical step in welfare measures is training of polling personnel. Now I would like to share my experience of Jabalpur district where we recently conducted assembly elections. Here we organized decentralized trainings at 6 different locations. We used laptops, projectors, PowerPoint presentations and videos for imparting the training. Interestingly, we conveyed the training venue information to the poll personnel through SMS also. I will talk more about it when we discuss in detail about the SMS and other modes of communication. Another important aspect of our experience has been that district election officer addressed each and every training group to instill confidence in people. See, it is very critical because practically it may not be possible for collector and district election officer to go and address each and every group because the training is going on at 6 different locations. However, what we did was we recorded a video of the collector and we played the video at each and every location, and that went a long way in instilling confidence. Similarly, we made arrangements for drinking water, refreshments, toilets. Hands-on training on EVM was also given, which was mandatorily required at every training venue, and postal ballot facilitation centers were also provided. Now these are some of the pictures of the training venue and the facilities that were given at the training centers. As you can see, people quite at length use the EVMs to get themselves acquainted with the systems.
देखिए होता यह है कि मतदान के दिन में पोलिंग पार्टीज के लोग कई बार बहुत टेंशन में आ जाते हैं क्योंकि कई बार त्रुटियां हो जाती हैं। त्रुटियां होना बड़ी सामान्य प्रक्रिया है। मैं आपको ये आश्वस्त करना चाहता हूं कि अगर आपने अपनी ओर से कोई जानबूझ के गलती नहीं की है और कोई ऐसी त्रुटि आपसे हो जाती है कि सहृदयता पूर्वक आप अपने ड्यूटी का पालन कर रहे थे लेकिन फिर भी भूल से त्रुटि हो गई, तो मैं ऐसी त्रुटि के समय आपका साथ दूंगा। मैं आपकी टीम का हिस्सा हूं, मैं आपका दुश्मन नहीं हूं। कलेक्टर की ये जिम्मेदारी है कि वो सभी को पूरा प्रोटेक्शन दे और सबके साथ मिलकर के काम करे। तो आप निश्चिंत रहें, अगर आपसे कोई ऐसी त्रुटि हो जाती है तो आप अपनी गलती स्वीकार करें, अपने अधिकारियों को बताएं, उस गलती को हम लोग मिल करके दूर करने का प्रयास करेंगे। कोई आसमान नहीं टूट पड़ेगा। अगर चुनाव के दिन कोई आपसे त्रुटि हो गई तो अधिक से अधिक क्या होगा, उस मतदान केंद्र पर रीपोल की स्थिति ना बनेगी। रीपोल होना कोई पाप नहीं है, पर आप ये ना समझें कि अब आपसे गलती हो गई है तो अब पूरा जीवन आपका खत्म हो गया है, आसमान टूट के नीचे गिर गया है, ऐसी कोई आपत्ति नहीं आने वाली है। तो ठंडे दिमाग से, स्वस्थ मन से, हृष्ट पुष्ट होकर, प्रसन्नचित्त होकर के मतदान की प्रक्रिया में आप पूरी प्लानिंग करें। हम सब आपके साथ हैं। मैं आपको आश्वस्त कर रहा हूं कि आपके द्वारा की गई सहृदय त्रुटियों में मैं आपके साथ रहूंगा, आपकी मदद करूंगा। अनावश्यक किसी को परेशान करने का किसी का उद्देश्य नहीं होता है। हालांकि इसका यह मतलब भी ना लगाएं कि कलेक्टर साहब ने अब ब्लैंक चिट दे दिया है तो अपन जम के गलतियां कर सकते हैं, ऐसा भी नहीं है। मैं चाहूंगा कि आप जिम्मेदारियों को पूरी मुस्तैदी से और मेहनत से निभाएंगे और इस बार की निर्वाचन में आप सबका सहयोग हमें अपेक्षित है। जो भी हमसे भी त्रुटियां अगर होती हैं व्यवस्थाओं में तो आप हमारे ध्यान में ला सकते हैं। कोशिश करेंगे कि आने वाले चुनाव में भी हम अपनी गलतियों को सुधारें। यथासंभव हम इस बार जबलपुर में एक बेहतरीन, निष्पक्ष और अभूतपूर्व चुनाव की तैयारियां करेंगे। आप सबका सहयोग इसमें मुझे चाहिए। पुनः एक बार आप सबको हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं। धन्यवाद।
Now let's see
इस विधानसभा चुनाव के निष्पक्ष संपादन के लिए जिन मतदान कर्मियों को लगाया गया है उनके प्रशिक्षण के लिए हमारे द्वारा उन्हें LCD के माध्यम से विस्तृत प्रशिक्षण दिया जा रहा है। ओरल प्रेजेंटेशंस के बाद हमारे द्वारा 1.5 घंटे का इनको प्रैक्टिकल सेशन भी रखा गया है जिसमें इलेक्ट्रॉनिक वोटिंग मशीन्स की कंट्रोल एवं बैलेट यूनिट के बारे में सूक्ष्म से सूक्ष्म जानकारियों से उन्हें अवगत कराया जा रहा है ताकि मतदान दिवस पर मॉक पोल के समय और बाकी की गतिविधियों के लिए उन्हें किसी भी प्रकार की कठिनाइयां न हो। ग्रीन पेपर सील्स, आउटर स्ट्रिप सील्स और हमारे द्वारा EVMs की जो सेटिंग की जानी है और उनकी पैकिंग की जानी है उसके बारे में डिटेल नॉलेज हम इनको दे रहे हैं।
The next important aspect of facilitation is postal ballot facilitation measures. as we are aware, Election Commission of India of late has been quite proactive about postal ballot paper facility to the polling personnels. Now what we did is to get the form 12 distributed during the training sessions itself and later on collect them. We had set up booths at all the training locations for the polling personnel to exercise their postal ballot franchisee. We also set up polling booth at railway station because large number of employees from our district went to other districts on poll duty, and they were also had to be given the facility for postal ballot paper facilitation. So let us see what was the experience there.
आज जबलपुर जिले से रीवा के लिए लगभग 1200 कर्मचारी रवाना हो रहे हैं चुनाव कराने के लिए। यहाँ पे ये व्यवस्था रखी गई है कि जो कर्मचारी रीवा जा रहे हैं वो अपना पोस्टल बैलेट पेपर के लिए आवेदन कर सकते हैं। उनको अपना नाम, पता और उनका मतदाता सूची में जो क्रमांक है वो लिखना पड़ेगा। ये आवेदन पत्र जो आज प्राप्त हो जाएंगे, इनके पोस्टल बैलेट जारी कर दिए जाएंगे आज ही शाम तक, और ये कर्मचारी मतगणना के पहले तक ये मतपत्र या तो डाक से भेज सकते हैं या ये लोग कलेक्टर कार्यालय में जो मार्गदर्शन कक्ष है वहाँ पे अपने मतपत्र डाल सकते हैं, इनकी गिनती हो जाएगी।
The next important milestone is receipt and dispatch center planning. Now at the receipt and dispatch center, because all the polling personnel would actually come and assemble there and collect their material and EVMs, we need to ensure that we have adequate space and parking facility. Secondly, we need to plan very systematically regarding the counters. We need to provide for public address systems, help desks, ambulance and medical facilities must be there, refreshment and canteen facilities should be there, and we must provide for special EVM training facility at the receipt dispatch center, because some of the employees actually might want to again do a hands-on training before they are leaving for the respective polling booths. So this has to be arranged for. Now let me explain a typical counter layout plan, how we had decided for it. You see, conventionally what happens in an assembly constituency, if there are 200 polling booths, what we do is we allot them for 10 different counters, and we say that from booth number 1 to 20 will go to counter number 1, and 21 to 40 will go to counter number 2, and so on. But we tried something very different. Our entire emphasis was on ensuring that the load and distribution of crowd is always uniform at each and every counter. How did we ensure that? So we actually made a particular route as a pivotal activity, and we picked up the route. For example, suppose there are 7 counters here, as you can see on the screen. Now suppose a particular bus arrives after the poll duty is over. In this bus we have 4 different polling parties. Now in our conventional wisdom, probably all the 4 polling parties would have got down and would have gone to a same counter, and they would have stood in the queue, whereas other counters would have remained empty. However, in our scheme of things, each and every party who gets down of a bus would go to different counter. As a result, there never would be a crowding. We can further understand this by this particular chart. In this assembly constituency, we have so many number of counters, and there are different routes, and each route, as you can see, the polling parties who are going to come back in that route are always uniformly distributed in different counters. So in no bus or no route any polling party would be standing in the same queue, and overall if we plan it properly, we can see at the bottom that each counter also would have almost same number of polling parties coming. As a result, there never would be any crowding, and distribution of proper polling parties to different booths ensures that disposal is faster and there is no crowding. Now here are some of the pictures of different number of booths. As we can see, there is not much of a crowd at any of the counter because it was distributed uniformly with a scientific planning. and you can see that there is ample amount of space available and large number of counters in a huge sprawling campus can always ensure that there is no crowding.
पहले कंसिडरेशन के लिए हम लोगों ने ये किया कि पर्याप्त संख्या में काउंटर्स डिजाइन किए थे, 40 काउंटर्स रखे गए थे ताकि कभी भी भीड़ की स्थिति निर्मित ना हो। इसके अलावा शहरी विधानसभाओं और ग्रामीण विधानसभाओं के 4 विधानसभाओं के ग्रुप बना करके 2 पारियों में सामग्री देने की व्यवस्था की थी। इसकी वजह से भी भीड़ की नौबत कभी नहीं आई। और SMS से उनको जब जानकारी मिली उनकी ड्यूटीज़ की तो उनको बहुत सहूलियत हुई है जानने में कि उनकी ड्यूटी कहाँ लगी है। और जैसे ही उनकी एंट्री हुई हमारे स्थल पे तो बहुत सारे जगहों पे हम लोगों ने ये चिपका करके रखा था कि किसकी ड्यूटी कहाँ लगी। तो SMS के अलावा हम लोगों ने ये भी व्यवस्था की थी कि उनको चार्ट देखने का अवसर मिले, वो चार्ट से भी उनको बहुत सहूलियत हुई थी। इसके अलावा काउंटर्स को हम लोगों ने टैग कर दिया था रूट चार्ट से। मसलन एक बस में अगर 7 पार्टी आती है तो वो एक ही काउंटर पे चली जाएगी तो बहुत भीड़ की स्थिति निर्मित हो सकती है। हम लोगों ने ये व्यवस्था किया था कि एक रूट में अगर 7 पार्टी जाती हैं तो सातों एक काउंटर पे न जाकर के 7 काउंटर पे जाएं, जिसका परिणाम ये हुआ कि कभी भी भीड़ की स्थिति निर्मित नहीं हुई।
Then comes advanced preparation for polling parties. Once the polling parties have arrived at the receipt dispatch center, we need to provide them with the information about polling booth and everything. As Commission's guidelines, these days randomization for polling parties take place thrice, and the last randomization takes place just before the polling parties are going to be dispatched to respective sites, and this is done in the presence of central observer. Once central observer has done the randomization, it is very difficult for us to inform each and every personnel employed in the polling parties as to where they have to go. Normally, conventionally, we display the charts at the receipt dispatch center. People report at that point and they try to locate their booths and they go and collect the material from respective counters. As I have already explained, we had distributed the counters and the booths in a very scientific manner. It was equally important for us to inform each and every person as to at which booth and counter they have to report to collect their material. So we used mass SMS as a innovative idea because we had the information in database. Once the randomization took place, we merged the information of randomized data and sent bulk SMS to each and every individual as we had their mobile numbers in our database, and the text of the SMS was like this. It said, your booth number is 17 of Vidhan Sabha 99 Jabalpur Cant, your route number is 2A, receive decoded order and material at counter number 32 at MLB Girls School at 12 PM on 25th November 2008. Now this SMS was sent to every polling personnel on the early morning at 5:36 AM before they could reach the dispatch center. As a result, without any hurry, whenever they arrived, they straight away went to the respective counter which they knew through SMS and they collected their material and they left. Next important thing was decoded orders, which I will talk about shortly, and providing special EVM trainings at the receipt dispatch center. The special EVM training was critically helpful because many of the employees who were not feeling very confident were given rigorous training at the receipt dispatch center so that they feel confident while reaching their respective booths. Then comes the movement plan. A typical route chart sheet which was given to the route guide and the polling parties would contain the information like this. It would have information regarding the sector number and route number, the number of polling parties in that particular sector, what is the vehicle type, what is the distance from departure point and place of disembarking, last mile distance, and guide details and everything would be there in the route chart sheet. We remember we had collected this data right in the beginning in route database. Therefore, it is possible to prepare a printout like this. A typical route chart for one route would look like this, and here we will have the details of assembly constituency, the place of disembarking of polling party, the polling station in that particular route which are falling, then the distance from the place of disembarking to the polling station in so many kilometers whatever, and what is going to be the mode of last mile connectivity. Now this chart was given to each and every route guide, the sector magistrate and the concerned people.
मेरी ड्यूटी चुनाव में वाहन प्रभारी की लगाई गई थी उसमें वाहन में एक जो है आदेश की कॉपी चिपकी हुई थी, एक आदेश मेरे पास था और एक हमारी जो टीम थी उनके पास आदेश था। उसी के मुताबिक जो है हमने मोबाइल के द्वारा अपनी टीमों को जानकारी दिया और देने के बाद मैं अपनी टीमों को, पूरे लोगों को अपनी गाड़ी में बैठाला और बैठाने के बाद जो है मतदान केंद्र जो सही रास्ते से था, कम समय वाला, उस रास्ते पर ले जाकर मतदान पहुंचाया। पहुंचाने के बाद तमाम रात भर हमारा वाहन वहां खड़ा था, रात भर हम थे वहां और दूसरे दिन जो है चुनाव शाम को 5 साढ़े 5 बजे खत्म हुआ। खत्म होने के बाद तमाम टीमों को 6-7 बजे मैंने उस पर बैठाला और बैठाने के बाद जो है वापसी MLB स्कूल।
Here are some of the pictures of the movement plan and the buses which were stacked properly, and people did not find any difficulty in boarding their buses because they knew in advance what was their bus number and what was their route number.
हमने विधानसभा चुनाव 2008 के लिए अच्छे बस अधिग्रहण किए थे। हमने कुल 350 बस अच्छी वैरायटी के अधिग्रहण किया था 8 विधानसभा के लिए, और यह जो है विधानसभा वार हमने बस जो है स्टेडियम में अलग अलग स्थल पर खड़ा किए थे और मतदान दलों को SMS के माध्यम से हमने बता दिया था कि आपकी बस कहां पर खड़ी हुई है। उसके माध्यम से मतदान दल जो है बस के पास पहुंच गए और बस में पहुंचने के बाद में अपने उसमें, चूंकि बस में रूट चार्ट भी लगी हुई थी, उसमें मतदान दलों को पता भी था कि कहां पे कौन सी बस खड़ी है और कहां जाना है। तो मतदान दल जो उस बस में आसानी से बैठकर वहां पे अपने मतदान केंद्र तक चले गए और से बड़ा मैनेजमेंट के माध्यम से जो है हमारा परिवहन व्यवस्था जो है सफल रहा और समय अवधि में जो है मतदान दल जो है वहां पर पहुंच गए और कोई भी बस उक्त पहुंचने तक कोई बस खराबी नहीं हुई, न हमको कोई अलग से बस और भेजनी पड़ी। इस प्रकार परिवहन।
The next very important facilitation measure was to provide a decoded order to each and every polling party. Now what is a decoded order? As we can see, it is a one single A4 sheet which contains so many details about the entire poll process that if we understand the decoded order and if the presiding officer and their team they read the decoded order carefully, they would not have to go to anywhere else for any kind of help. Now let me explain what was in the part 1. Part 1 is this portion in the top. Part 1 contains the name of the assembly constituency and the polling party number and polling station number. Now mind it, these two, polling party number and polling station number, are actually matching only after the third randomization. Therefore this has to come from the database after the merging at the last moment. Then the second part of the decoded order contains the names of the polling party, the name of the presiding officer and their team members, their address, and most importantly their mobile numbers. So once this chart is available to every polling party member, they can contact their colleagues using their mobile numbers. Now third was details of polling booths and EVM etc. In this detail we had the name of the polling station, we had the name of the person who is going to be there as booth in charge, his contact number, what is the number of male and female voters in that particular booth, whether the booth is critical, whether it is vulnerable, whether it is sensitive, and also the control unit number, the ballot unit number and ballot unit number 2. Now again I would like to explain, these three again would come after the randomization of EVMs, because Election Commission of India has insisted on randomization of EVMs. So if the database for EVM randomization is ready, you can merge that database and bring that information in this decoded order for polling party to carry. Now fourth part of the decoded order was regarding the contact details. Here we are not only providing the information regarding the route number and the route guide, but we are also providing information regarding the sector officer, we call them zonal officer in Madhya Pradesh, and his telephone number, the police station name, police station mobile number, police station in charge name, his mobile number, and the sector magistrate and his mobile number. All this information is available in the decoded order itself. And the last part is regarding the details of departure, and here we are actually telling the polling parties where they have to come back and report back, what is going to be their counter number and what is going to be the time and date of departure, and etc. So this information is available. So this entire information available is in decoded order, and it becomes a very useful document in terms of polling party facilitation.
जब हम सामग्री लेने आए उसकी व्यवस्था देखकर तो बहुत ही ताजुब हुआ, क्योंकि इतनी बढ़िया व्यवस्था हमने कहीं भी नहीं देखी थी इतने चुनाव में। साथ ही साथ जो काउंटर्स बने हुए थे वो एक काउंटर में बहुत कम लोगों की भीड़ रहती थी और 10 मिनट में हम सब सामान प्राप्त कर लेते थे। जो हमें जहाँ पे चुनाव कराना था वहाँ का वाहन भी बहुत ही अच्छा था, कोई भी परेशानी नहीं वहाँ पे भी।
The next important component is micro observers. As we know, Election Commission of India has introduced the concept of micro observers who directly report to the central observers. However, it is the duty of district election office to ensure that their training and their facilities are also taken care of, and we had made special arrangements for assembly wise sitting for micro observers so that their respective central observers could speak to them and take report from them and give them any necessary instructions as it was required.
I am KV Divakar, Nodal Officer for Micro Observers speaking, and this is for the first time the concept of micro observers has been introduced in the Vidhan Sabha elections of Madhya Pradesh 2008, and the concept, since it is new, the micro observers have been selected randomly from the central government undertakings. They have been thoroughly trained prior to the process of election, and they have also been given proper training to fill the forms in which they have to submit the information to the central observers for their perusal. And even during the counting, before the process starts, they have been informed through SMS that where they have to sit and do their job and what all the forms they have to fill. And this training and their we have facilitated for their movement also, and this training and their movement has caused great help in the entire process, and they have given the information timely, and this has been a good help for the central observers for early declaration of the results.
The next was arrangement at polling booths. As we had already appointed booth level in charge for each and every booth, it was his responsibility to provide for basic amenities. We also ensured that the honorarium for polling parties were distributed by sector officer at the polling booth itself. This avoids a lot of botheration and confusion, because once the polling parties have finished their task and they come back to receive dispatch center, then the distribution of honorarium becomes a difficult task, because people are in a hurry, they wish to go back home. So it is ideally suitable to distribute their honorarium at the polling booth itself. We also ensured that we were in regular touch with the polling parties at the polling booth. On the day of poll, especially during the morning hours when the mock poll had to be conducted, because each and every presiding officer was carrying a mobile number and we had their mobile numbers in our database, we could directly provide them in a sort of online troubleshooting, whereby if they were getting stuck at some particular point, they could be given a counseling and they could be advised suitably to make the amendments and corrections so that they do not get stuck with the EVMs. Now this helped a lot in avoiding a lot of repolls.
नमस्कार सर, मैं प्रेम नारायण यादव नगर निगम से नियुक्त सर चुनाव कार्य के लिए। अच्छा। और यहाँ पर पूर्ण व्यवस्था है पोलिंग बूथ की।
155 नंबर का बूथ है? जी सर। पूरी तैयारियां कर ली आपने इसकी?
तैयारी सर।
लाइट वाइट पानी सब चेक किया गया?
सब चेक है सर। चलिए, शुद्ध पानी है सर, शौचालय की पूर्ण व्यवस्था है। अच्छा जी सर।
And now the last leg of the polling exercise is counting. Now during counting, because in a district there would be a lot number of assembly constituencies, we did a very interesting exercise of doing a color coding of the staff who were to carry different EVMs. Now this helped in avoiding any kind of confusion, because different assembly constituencies would have different counting halls, and if any particular employee by mistake carries an EVM of a different AC to a different room, then it can lead to major confusion. So what we did was we provided the color coded bands on the arms of employees who were carrying the EVMs, so that there is no confusion. We will see a small video on that. Second was mock drill. The counting was scheduled on 8th of December, However, we did a mock drill on 6th of December in the same venue with everything as realistic, so that all the likely bottlenecks which could crop up on the day of poll were actually addressed right in the beginning. Now, mock drill was a very useful exercise. As a result, with the help of all the counting staff, on the day of actually counting, our district was one of the few districts where we could finish the counting earliest and we could declare the results very fast, because the mock drill helped us in identifying the bottles much in advance. Third important aspect was tabulation of results using Microsoft Excel sheets. We had linked all the tables in such a way that once information of a particular booth was keyed into the system, even the final result sheet was also getting automatically linked up and prepared. This way, once the last booth counting results was keyed into the system, within next 5 minutes our results were ready for declaration. This was critically very helpful in fast process of counting. And as like receipt dispatch center, other facilities like medical facilities, refreshment, drinking water, toilets, etc. were also provided at the counting center. Now these are the pictures, actual pictures of color coded this thing.
चुनाव खत्म हो गया, मैं मशीन जमा करने जा रहा हूँ। ये उत्तर की मैं ड्यूटी लगी थी मेरी, तो मेरी पट्टी हरी है।
Now this is the way we conducted the mock drill for counting, and everybody knew what exactly needs to be done on the day of counting.
मध्य प्रदेश विधानसभा चुनाव में इस बार मतगणना के लिए पहले रिहर्सल कराई गई थी, जो एक विशिष्ट बात है। और मतगणना के दिन मुझे 5:30 बजे सुबह SMS प्राप्त हुआ, जिसमें ये स्पष्ट रूप से उल्लेख था कि मुझे किस विधानसभा क्षेत्र की मतगणना में शामिल होना है, किस टेबल क्रमांक पर मुझको बैठना है, ये मुझे पहले ही पता चल गया था। ये भी पूर्वाभ्यास जो कराया गया था उसमें ये भी स्पष्ट था कि किस टेबल पर बैठना है। टेबल पर गणना पर्यवेक्षक, माइक्रो ऑब्जर्वर और गणना सहायक किस स्थान पर बैठेंगे, मतगणना की पेटियां किस प्रकार से, मतलब EVM मशीन और बैलेट यूनिट किस प्रकार से आएंगी, काउंटिंग करने के बाद काउंटिंग के समय किस प्रकार से प्रपत्र भरे जाएंगे और उसके पश्चात काउंटिंग के स्टिकर्स किस प्रकार से लगाए जाएंगे। हम लोगों को ये भी सुविधा मिली थी कि समय पर नाश्ता, चाय और वर्किंग लंच भी वहीं टेबल पर ही प्रोवाइड किया गया था। और मतगणना का पूर्वाभ्यास होने के कारण हम लोग पूरी तरह से मानसिक रूप से तैयार थे मतगणना के लिए, और हम लोगों के मन में किसी भी प्रकार का कोई संशय।
So in the end, let us summarize what were the major facilitation measures we discussed today. First was at the time of polling party formation, the second was at the time of training, third was in receipt and dispatch center, fourth was in planning the movement plan, fifth was in informing the polling parties in advance through SMS and giving them a decoded order which was loaded with lot of information, and polling booth facilitation at the time of polling booths, and lastly during the counting we could take lot of measures to provide the facility to polling parties. Now if you have any questions, we can take some of the questions.
Very good morning, sir. I am Mrs. Lata, DRO elections in Chennai Corporation, the cadre of additional district magistrate, sir. I have two questions to share with you, sir. There was a person appointed for guiding the parties, that is in the name of route guide. What is his actual duty, sir? What was he doing there?
Okay. Do I answer this question first?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Look, a route guide is essentially an employee who is going to be there with the vehicle. So his first responsibility is to ensure that all the polling parties which are assigned to that particular route board the bus before the bus starts. Now he has been given a chart with the names of each and every person in each and every polling party which is going to go in his route, because it will be decided only at the last moment after the randomization. But we took the precaution, we took the care of giving a printout to each and every route guide of the number of persons and their names and their mobile numbers who would be boarding his or her bus. So his job was to ensure that everybody alights the vehicle, number one. Thereafter ensure that everybody is disembarked at the right place. So that because you know if a bus is going in a particular route, there will be a lot of polling booths. Many of them would be government schools with the identical names, and identical areas. It is only the route guide who can explain, sorry, the booth number is 155 is this, you don't get down at this spot, let us get down at the next point. And then it is his duty to ensure that while coming back, all the polling parties alight the bus and they are safely sent to the point of received dispatch center without any difficulty. That is his duty.
Sir, actually sir, we would like to appreciate the decoded order, sir, actually.
Right.
Whether it is, I don't think it's ECI's communication, sir, office would have done it on its own, I think, sir.
Yeah, this decoded order was an innovation from District Election Office Jabalpur, and our District Information Officer of NIC had designed the software, but Commission has, if Commission directs, it can be shared with everybody, it is nothing secret.
I saw it's going to be very useful, it's a handbook like for
Right.
anyone to know about one particular booth.
Yes, in one particular sheet every information is given, and presiding officer and polling parties do not have to go anywhere else for asking for any information. That's right.
Fact,
it can be shared with everybody.
In fact, it can come out in the third randomization itself. It's going to come out in the Commission's order itself. It will be useful to everyone, sir.
Yes, that's
Thank you,
right.
sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
My clarification, I am Venugopal, Assistant Commissioner for Triplicane constituency. My doubt is, during the polling time, if any problem of vested with the EVM machine or some other connected problem, how to solve it immediately? That there is no specific mention over this.
Okay. There are two ways a presiding officer can get his problem solved. Commission has allowed the presiding officers to carry mobile phones to the polling booths. Now there are specific instructions to that effect. Now as a result, if the presiding officer is stuck, he can either contact his sector officer whose mobile number is available with him in his decoded order, or he can contact the central control room where the EVM experts are sitting with phone numbers, and they can provide online counseling, which I mentioned during the polling booth arrangement systems. So presiding officer can always talk to the concerned person who is an expert on the subject and explain his problem and get the requisite support. And in worst case, if online counseling does not help, then sector officers who are on the move in the polling area, they always carry reserve EVMs with them. So there are Commission directions that if the EVM is giving problem at a particular point, the polling process can be stopped there for a few moments, and then we can replace by another EVM and polling can start in the new EVM. So because the sector officers are carrying reserve EVM with them, they can within a short notice go and replace the EVM at the polling booth, and the polling process can continue unhindered.
So regarding railway station, that voting things,
Postal ballot.
Postal. What about the list?
Sorry?
List. Who will keep the list?
Yeah. You see, this was a little unusual circumstance, because Commission suddenly decided at the last moment that large number of polling parties would go from my district to another district, because that district did not have sufficient number of poll personnels. Now we had around 1200 people going to different district, but we had their names, their telephone numbers and every detail in our database. So what we did, at the postal ballot facilitation center at the railway station, we distributed blank form 12, and we were ready with the electoral roll at the railway station with our team sitting there in the counters. Anybody who wished to take the facility advantage of postal ballot facility, he was advised to fill up the form 12 and put it in respect to assembly constituency boxes. Thereafter, in the daytime, we compiled all those applications and we cross-checked them with the original electoral roll, and who were found to be eligible, their postal ballot papers were dispatched by post to their respective addresses. Because there was a large gap between actual date of poll and date of counting, it was around 10 days gap. So they could always come back from the neighbouring district after having finished their poll duty, and then they could use that postal ballot paper and send it by post as per the Election Commission instructions before the counting starts. And we had also provided boxes at the collectorate, so if they wish to come to collectorate and exercise their franchise, they could as well put their postal ballot in the box at the collectorate.
Thank you.
So, thank you.